Here's your full guide to maximizing your attractiveness and looking better. Now, for reference, this is what I used to look like, and this is what I look like now. You can see a clear difference. And you know what? My LOOKSMAXXing season isn't even due for 2 years from now. And I'd say I look pretty good right now. So here's your full guide, right? So let's begin. First, you need to understand the prerequisites. There are two prerequisites that you need to understand. There is two phases, the bulking phase and the cutting phase. The cutting phase is where most of your LOOKSMAXXing will go, right? Actually, all of your LOOKSMAXXing will be in the cutting phase. You do not focus on your looks when you are bulking. Now, you need to understand why it is important to bulk before you LOOKSMAXX, like maximize your looks, because bulking is where you are eating more to put on muscle mass in the gym. And your physique is one of the biggest parts of LOOKSMAXXing as a whole. Like, you don't want to have a pretty face, but like you're weak in the gym and you're like skinny. You don't want to be one of those guys, because you will be snapped in half by another guy who has the pretty face but also the physique. So take into account what I'm saying, right? You can look like you. I will spill the secrets right now on how to LOOKSMAXX. Like, I've done autistic research, like such detailed research on this shit, right? I can give you all of the source in this one video, and you can follow it and get the same results that I'm going to get in 2 years, right? But the thing is, why I want you to bulk first is because it will be a higher return on investment in the future for yourself. Think about it, because you can either cut right now when you don't have much. You'll have the pretty face, but you won't have the physique. And then you'll realize one day when you get snapped in half by another guy, or like you're playing football and you absolutely get destroyed by physicality and right, then you'll realize you need to bulk and put on strength and muscle mass and like all of that, right? So you much rather do it now and then look pretty later. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's the prerequisite that you need to understand before I get into the sauce, right? So LOOKSMAXXing. How do you actually maximize your looks? Now, a lot of people complicate this online. Like, I'm gonna be honest, right? They talk about skincare, they talk about doing so many things, like fixing your sleep and all of this. And you know what? They're correct, but you don't have to complicate it that much. There are only a few things that you need to know for LOOKSMAXXing, right? And the biggest thing, the biggest by far, is your diet. So that's what I'm going to explain in this video, right? You need to understand how your diet impacts your face and your skin and everything else, like on your body physically, right? So here we go. So diet, there's multiple different levels to diet, and you need to understand these different levels, right? So let's start with level 1. This is probably where most people are at, right? Level 1 is where you consume any food without knowing any knowledge. Basically, you're a retard. If I'm being completely honest, you are clueless. You are oblivious to the fact that you are consuming food that is not even food, it's poison. And because of that poison, all of that poison is excreted through your skin as acne and all of these symptoms. They are symptoms. They are not problems. They are symptoms of the underlying problem, which is your diet and your gut health, right? So the biggest ROI, the biggest return on investment that you can do for your looks is not skincare. It's not even sleep. It is your diet. So level 1 is where you're eating foods like pizza, all of these junk, like processed seed oil, KFC, McDonald's, snacking on like M&Ms and all of this bullshit. You eat that and you will pay the price with your looks, right? So that's level 1, and you don't want to be in level 1. Ideally, you want to be in a higher level, right? Level 2 is where like you cut out the bad foods, but you still don't know how your food impacts your skin and all of that, right? Level 3 is where you are now you're gaining some knowledge. Like your knowledge was here and now you're gaining some knowledge. And basically, this is where all the sources, right? Level 3 onwards is where you can see a big difference. So, level 3 is where you're eating foods that are whole foods. Now, here's the biggest way to improve your skin. Like, this is the highest ROI, right? So, level 3 is where you cut out all junk food, but you eat foods that are only whole foods. Whole foods is basically like, when you look at the back of the boxes when you buy anything like Kellogg's cornflakes or whatever, or like peanut butter, like you look at the back and you can see a bunch of ingredients. That is not good. That is a sign that that food is processed. That is quite literally the definition of processed. If you can see a bunch of ingredients at the ingredient label, that means that food is processed. So if you eat foods like that, your skin will pay the price. Whole foods is basically when you look at the back, there is no ingredient label. Do you know why? Because the only ingredient in that product, that food, is the food itself. For example, you buy chicken breast, right? When you look at the back, there is no ingredient label. Like, you can go check right now. I bet you have a pack of chicken breast, maybe next time you buy it, or maybe if you have it now, go check. Look at the back. There is no ingredient label. And then look at like your sweeties, your cupcakes, your pizza. Look at the back. And there will be a shit ton of ingredients here, all like a full list. That's how you can tell the difference between processed and unprocessed food. Right? So, basically whole foods are foods that only have one ingredient. That's level 3. That's where like most of your work is. Level 4 and 5 is like the polishing stage. That's where you like maximize. You're optimizing every single, like everything to get to the highest level, right? My throat's getting dry. So, level 4 is where you start. Level 4 is where you start thinking about anti-nutrients in your food. So basically, even if you're eating whole foods, which is what I'm doing right now, so I'm at level 3 even though I'm bulking, so my skin doesn't go out of whack. As you can see, it's not that bad, right? If I was eating level 1 or 2, my skin would be breaking out and like I would look terrible, right? Level 3 is where like you're reducing most of the toxins that you are inputting into your body. Because your body is no longer, like, it's basically just a function. If you give it shit, it will look like shit. But if you give it good, nutritious food, it will look good, right? So, level 4 is where you start thinking about the 4 key anti-nutrients. Now, what are anti-nutrients? So, the simplest explanation, I'm not going to bullshit you here, right? The simplest explanation for anti-nutrients are chemicals in your body that inhibit or stop the good effects of other chemicals, like other nutrients. You've heard the word nutrient, right? That basically means a good thing for your food, like for your body, for your skin, all of that, right? Anti-nutrients go in your body and stop all the micro, like the positive, the good nutrients in your body and stop them from working, right? And the 4 key anti-nutrients that you must avoid are lectins, phytic acid, gluten, and oxalates. Now, you don't have to do much research because I've done it for you. So I'll just tell you what foods to avoid, right? If you want this LOOKSMAXXing journey to go very like smoothly for you, you need to understand. You need to avoid these 4 anti-nutrients. And the way you do that, you don't eat nuts. Nuts is a really big one, even though it's a whole food, right? Nuts, spinach, like green, like leafy green vegetables, right? You avoid that. And bread. Bread contains gluten, right? And also, you need to make sure you are avoiding A1 dairy, right? Because what is A1 dairy? A1 dairy is a type of dairy. So there's 2 types of dairy before I explain what A1 is, right? A1 and A2 dairy. A1 dairy is like, the simplest way I can explain it is a cow that has been bred to have more milk and like higher yields, right? But the thing is, it's not good. Like your digestive system can't properly digest it. Therefore, it will create chronic inflammation in your body, right? This is why you need to avoid A1 dairy. And for reference, most of the milk, most of the dairy found in superstores like Aldi, Lidl, Morrison's, all of these stores, right? All of that milk is A1. So if you want to make sure that you are LOOKSMAXXing to the max, avoid A1 dairy as well. So, and now we get to level 5. Because level 4, you've done more autistic research, right? I've just done it for you. So here's like the full guide, right? Level 5. This is where this is the highest ROI, honestly. If you have the discipline to stick to this diet, you will look your best. This is like an extremist diet. Most people wouldn't want to be on this diet because they think it's too extreme and they've been psyoped. And you are one of these people, my friend. And a good way to test yourself is, if you think too many eggs are unhealthy, that's like a good way for you to test yourself, right? Because if I just said to you, oh, I'm planning on eating 25 eggs a day on my LOOKSMAXXing season, what do you think about that? Ask yourself, what do you actually think about that? Do you think that's excessive? Because if you do, most likely you are psyoped by social conditioning. You are psyoped by your parents. You are psyoped by your school, by modern technologies and all of this shit. And you don't know how humans used to eat back in the day. They used to eat red meat, high quality red meat. Red meat, beef, lamb, right? And eggs. Because that is real human food. So, level 5, this is the sauce, right? If you got to this point, bro, you can skip level 1 to 4. If you just follow level 5 diets, you'll have like, your skin will quite literally, bro, it will clear. You'll lose body fat. You look better. You will get the jawline that you've always wanted. You will look healthier. You will look more vital. And bro, you'll just be attractive. You'll just be attractive, bro. So, level 5. So, level 5. This is the diet that I'm planning on to get to on like my season when I LOOKSMAXX, right? This is gonna sound conspiracy theorist, whatever you want to say, but this is the best diet for LOOKSMAXXing. So you can follow me if you want, or you can just remain as ugly as you are right now. That you are not satisfied with how you look right now, you can remain there, or you can follow my advice, right? It's as simple as that, because I've done fucking shit ton of research on this, right? And I've implemented, and I've discovered the secrets, right? So, I'm planning on getting on a diet consisting of 25 eggs a day. You heard that right. Maybe it sounds expensive, but it's not. It's really not. It's like, bro, it's like 30 quid, 40 quid a week, right? This diet. Not just the eggs, like all eggs and all of the other things I'm going to recommend, right? So, eggs, 25 eggs a day. And also, bro, if you're a vegetarian, by the way, side tangent. If you're vegetarian, bro, you're going to have to decide if you want to look good or if you want to remain vegetarian. This is like a key, hard, brutal truth that you need to understand. Because vegetarian diets don't get you looking good. It's as simple as that. If you want to maximize your attractiveness and your testosterone and all of that, your hormones, all of that, this looks like, you know, a good example of a diet is not only if it improves your looks, but it also improves your hormones, your sleep, everything else improves. With this diet, everything else improves. So this is that's why it's level 5, right? By the way, there's much more detail than this, but I'm just dumbing it down so you guys can understand and you guys can just take in what you need and throw out what you don't need. You don't need all of the detail, right? I'm just telling you what you need so you can implement and you can get the results. That's it, right? So I'm just abstracting all of the knowledge, right? So level 5, 25 eggs a day. Do you know why? 25 eggs a day. Eggs are a superfood. They are so good for muscle building. They are so good for your health. They are so good for your testosterone. They are good for literally everything. There are studies that you can look at where it literally shows people like burn injuries, like people who have been burnt in the past, right? And one group ate like a lot of eggs, like so many eggs, and the other group did not. And bro, the people who ate so many eggs healed basically way faster compared to the other group. So you can follow conspiracy theory knowledge and all of this, or you can follow the Western diet, which consists of, like I see every day in school, people snacking on donuts, people snacking on pizza, people snacking on all of this shit. You can eat that and you can remain how you are now, or you can follow what I'm saying to you. Because it's time that you try something new and actually see the benefits of it. So 25 eggs a day, my friend, okay? 25 eggs. And then the second superfood that I recommend is liver. Liver is a superfood. Liver, just in case you don't know, liver from a red, like, animal, basically. You can eat chicken liver, lamb liver, beef liver. Beef and lamb tend to be the most nutrient dense, right? But you can choose any of them. And I'd recommend choosing lamb or beef, right? And I used to eat 100 grams. And bro, I saw the results, but I'll tell you a downside of why I stopped that. I'll tell you why. And it's not like I could have kept going, but it was affecting my bulk. I'll explain later why, right? But because you care about LOOKSMAXXing only, I'll tell you, right? Liver, bro, you don't understand, right? Liver is so good for everything in your body. It is the most nutrient dense food on the planet. Think about that for a second. You've been psyoped to think, oh, Kellogg's, cornflakes, oh, Vita, like all of this, Weetabix and all of this, right? You thought all of them were like nutrient dense. That's a word that's thrown around a lot, but it's such misconceptions, right? The real nutrient dense foods, my friend, is liver. This is where you get all the gains. You know why? Because liver contains so much vitamin A, right? It has vitamin A, which is basically responsible for creating new skin on your face. Think about that for a second. So, and also, it acts immediately, right? Like as soon as you eat it, it acts immediately. There is no like conversion phases. Like if you're into skincare, you should have heard of retinol and like tretinoin and all of these like synthetic products, right? Liver basically enters your blood as soon as you eat it, right? That's not scientific, by the way, but like basic bro science. It works. Anyway, you eat it, bro. Just eat 100 grams of liver, like, and bro, I've heard of like this problem of hypervitaminosis A, and that's like a problem when you eat too much vitamin A in your diet, right? Bro, that has never been reported with liver. And bro, think about it. Your ancestors ate raw organs. Now, I'm not saying eat raw liver because it tastes like shit, bro. You can cook it a bit, right? But eat liver. 100 grams. Don't argue with me. If you argue with me, you're going to be mistaken, right? Just do what I say and just do it for 2 weeks and watch. 25 eggs. You can make that happen, right? 25 eggs a day. Liver. Cooked 100 grams every single day. It tastes like shit, but it will make you look great, amazing, bro. And then another thing, autistic thing that I used to do is I used to get chicken bones, right? And I used to put them in like hot water, right? and I would use a cooker to boil it, and basically I would strain it after, and I would be left with bone broth. And bro, chicken feet especially has the most gelatinous bone broth, and gelatin is where you get all the collagen that builds your new skin, right? So if you've been struggling with acne a lot, that is what's going to help you, right? Like the vitamin A from liver, 100 grams of liver, the healing effects of 25 eggs, and the bone broth, they will all combine in unison, and they will transform the way you look. They will give you a stronger jaw, because bro, eating on this diet, bro, you will lose so many calories, right? And that's basically the best way to cut, because cutting is a phase where you are losing weight to reveal what you built underneath, right? And that is why I said to you, bulking is what needs to happen first. So bulk to gain the muscle, right? And then cut to reveal the muscle and reveal the jawline, reveal all of the facial features and all of that. See that? Do that, and then look as best as you've ever looked, right? So there's the source, right? And the detriment that I realized with this, right? When you try to eat a LOOKSMAXXing diet, it is extremely hard to bulk. And that is why I stalled in progress in bulking for so long. And bro, it is extremely easy to lose weight. So incredibly easy. It is so easy to lose weight. Holy shit, bro. 25 eggs a day. How many calories do you think that is? How many calories? Think about it. 25 eggs. Each egg is 70 calories. Right? Do the maths. That is not a lot of calories. Bro. And then 100 grams of liver is like 200 calories. And then, bro, in this diet, you don't have any like anti-nutrient foods. By the way, if you want to eat other foods in this diet, don't eat any of the anti-nutrients. These 3 foods will save like basically your looks and like rewire it from the inside. Not with all of these synthetic products that you're putting onto your skin on the outside. They will go inside and they will rewire it from like inside, right? And they will make you look vital, healthy, like a human again. Think about that, right? So that's level 5. That's like if you have the utmost discipline. And bro, most people watching this video, bro, unless you're like extreme like me, you don't have the willpower to stick to a diet like that. That sounds like a boring diet, bro. But it is ultimately the diet that will save your looks the most, because it has no anti-nutrients. It has any bullshit that you don't need. It only has things that will save your looks, right? So you can eat chicken because that has no anti-nutrients either. You can eat meat like beef, right? Stay away from restaurant foods and like ordering out and like takeout and all of this, right? Because that contains anti-nutrients. So yeah, there's basically everything you need to know to LOOKSMAXX to the maximum, right? So, to summarize, 25 eggs, 100 grams of like liver. It can be raw, which is better, but good luck. Bone broth, that is like I told you the method on how to do it, right? And if you want more help, comment down, right? Comment down below. Those 3 foods, quite literally, will rewire your skin from the inside out, make your face look defined, because you are losing calories, you are losing weight, you are losing body fat, right? And also, because if you do this, like trying to cut, what happens is, because you still have a lot of protein, 25 eggs is a lot of protein still, right? And also, you fill in like the rest with like chicken and like just meat, bro. Do not eat like any carbs, honestly. Because carbs is what bloats you. Like on a cut, if you want to look as good as possible, you have to like eliminate carbs and you have to eat meat. And also, there's been this psyoping that people can't run without carbs. And honestly, if you're trying to bulk, you need carbs, right? But if you're trying to cut, like lose weight and like LOOKSMAXX, You do not need carbs. Your body can run on ketones. And I can't be asked explaining that right now. I'll explain it in another video, right? But anyway, I'm just giving you the value that you need, right? Fill the rest with meat. Just chicken and beef, lamb, fish, right? Fish is also good for you. But those are the 3 foods, right? Those are the key foods that will actually help your LOOKSMAXXing journey. And that is why I don't want to do that now, because if I do that now, bro, the calories will destroy me. I will lose weight. I'll get lean. I'll get very lean, but that's not what I want. I want to get like strong first, and then I want to get like lean to reveal the muscle that I've built underneath, right? So that's the most logical approach. So if you still want to be a pretty boy, go ahead. That's the best way. That's the best method. And I bet you're going to quit in the first 2 days. But if you can stick to it, because that's the hard truth, bro. If you can stick to it, you will see the gains. You will see your acne vanish. Just like that. Just like that. Your acne will go away. Because you are not putting any toxins into your body. You are not putting any toxins into your body. And therefore, there will be no toxins excreted out through your skin, which is all acne is, right? And any skin condition is basically just that. And that's basically it. You can also consume fruit. I won't go into the science into that, but fruit is carbs, but you can consume fruit because it's just better than normal carbs, right? And anything else. But a lot of people may look at you like you're a crazy madman for doing this, right? But you care about your looks, they don't. Most people don't even have a jawline, bro. Think about that. Most people are overweight. Most people have a body fat percentage higher than 25. If you want to be part of the masses, go ahead. Right? But if you want to be that weird guy who looks like a Greek god, who's sculpted like, bro, you have the full 6-pack and you're just attractive, then this is the diet that's going to get you there, right? So those are the 5 levels of diet. I've just briefly explained to you the quickest way to LOOKSMAXX. And I hope this video helps you as always, because I know my videos help a lot of people when they watch them, right? So I'm grateful that you've watched this video. There's the blueprint. There's the blueprint. I've highlighted everything you need to know. And don't care about like nutrients and like, I've researched this, right? And this is my conclusion, right? This is the best diet. It has everything you need. Every single nutrient you need is in red meat. Is in liver. That's it. You don't need anything else. Try that diet for 2 weeks and report back. And I'm telling you, it works. And I would recommend, especially if you're fat. I've mentioned this in a previous video. If you're fat, bro, get on this diet quick. Because this diet will literally make you lose that fat so quickly. You'll be mesmerized on how quickly you lose the fat. And also, you'll get your jawline. And also, train hard in the gym while doing this, right? And that's basically it, bro. So, I'll see you in the next one.